Same. It's the same life thing.
Call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First item be approve the agenda as presented.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda's approved. Next item is 3, approval of the consent agenda. Chair will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda's approved. Item A, approval of the minutes of the June 23rd, 2022 board retreat. That's consent, excuse me. Item 4, audience delegations. Partner organization, item B, Athletic Booster Club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. Our Booster Club president, David Peterman, was unable to attend tonight, so I will be speaking in his place. My name is Skylar Calvin, and I am the Booster Club's new vice president. Over the past school year, we have had a flurry of activity in support of Harrisonville District Athletics, and here's a brief overview of some of the cool things we've been involved with. First, there's the fundraising. Early in the school year, we reached out to local business involvement and sold ads for the sports programs. We also sell Wildcat branded apparel at the sporting events, and in the spring, we even held a fundraiser dodgeball tournament at the high school. Secondly, there's the material and financial support we have given to the district clubs and organizations. Late last school year, the Booster Club donated funds for new wrestling mats to the athletic department. This amounted to partial replacement of their aging equipment, and they were able to get new equipment. We helped purchase the Huddle statistical software for the basketball program, which allows coaches and players to track game and player stats in near real time. It's really cool software. I'm an IT guy, so I've been able to help them set that up a little bit, and it works really well for what they need. It's helped with some scouting. We also partnered with DECA to sell those white Wildcat flags you might have seen around town. The Booster Club sells the flags, and DECA members go out and help the businesses deploy them on game day for hometown support, school support, spirit, and such. In the spring, we awarded 2 academic scholarships, $500 each to one boy and one girl senior student athlete who best personified the club's core values while pursuing academic excellence. And throughout the school year, we also ran the concession stands at the district sporting events. The football kiosk in particular was a huge hit with its made-to-order hamburgers, pizza, and Cruisewell's barbecue. We also built a new visitors concession stand at the football field, and that was highly successful. We also ran concessions for basketball, volleyball, wrestling, and baseball, just to name a few. Lastly, there's the Big Blue buses that we own and operate. We now have 2 buses. They're being stored at the high school, and we're able to transport both athletic and other organizations to and from away events. We can service 2 teams or organizations at the same time. So that's pretty cool. While we've been busier at the school year, during the school year, they have been in service 4 times over the summer. So we feel that's helped out a lot. In conclusion, over the past year, we've accomplished much, and we are looking forward to the coming school year as possibly our best year yet, with more great things yet to accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 4C, MSBA delegate report. Jenny, you got
All right. Well, this month of July mostly was talking about school safety. So pretty much, I mean, they just want to make sure that we as a board make sure that our students feel safe in their environment. I was talking with Mr. Menching a little bit today, and we do have a school safety committee with a board member on it that does meet with our RSO regularly, and the SRO does receive national training, which then trains our teachers and our staff as well. And that with the bond project, it did help consolidate our high school entrance, which is a big plus on that. There is a new president for MSBA, and it is Ray Murphy, and he comes from Richards R5 school district. It's a K-8 school district. And he got to speak at the conference just recently here in July, and he said that it's important to understand that there were challenges that our schools faced this year, but it's also important that we celebrate the accomplishments. And he stated that experience is the best teacher, because we're going to fail sometimes in those experiences, but we're also going to succeed sometimes, and we're going to learn from those experiences. That's what he encouraged at the conference there. If you want to see any changes in the MSBA manual or advocacy positions, now's the time to submit that. I think it's like by the end of August, I think, is when they have that. And then there's a golf tournament that they wanted us to remind you all about on November 2nd in Kansas City. And to remind you all that there's the delegate assembly in Kansas City, November 4th through 5th. And that right before that will be the safety summit, where they'll do a lot of training on November 2nd and 3rd. And they're both in Kansas City. So that's basically what it was about this time.
And all of the SROs go through the training.
They go through training. I'm not sure if that's specific training, but they go through, I think it's Stratago. Is that how you say that, Jason? Strategos. That's, anyways, that's the training that they utilize in addition to MSBA training. They do some MSBA training. I'm not sure if it's that specific.
That's Center for Education.
Yeah.
Education.
CES. So they made the safety summit before the delegate assembly, so that hopefully everybody could kind of try to attend with superintendent and SRO and all that kind of.
If they're not playing golf.
Yes, if they're not playing for the golf tournament. That's right, for the fundraiser. So.
Very good. Thank you very much. Item 5A, monthly information items. Anybody have any questions? Good. Item 5C, construction management update.
So, a lot of progress last month. We'll bounce through it as normal, but the big thing is the middle school just started, so we'll talk about that today. High school is rapidly coming to a conclusion. As you can see in the renovationary casement's been set, carpet is in, doing final paint later this week. We've got some swinging doors here in the next couple of weeks, so rapidly coming to conclusion. The high school renovation area should be wrapped up by the end of the month. Probably going for TCO early in August. So good news on that. The stained steel concrete is complete and done, and we should be done with the carpet. We're doing a lot of the carpet replacements in a lot of the corridors as well. The PVC that will be done later. As far as the exterior, next slide. The concrete underneath the new entryway has been poured. It's all poured out and complete. Also took off the old Harrisville High School sign, so that's gone out. It's getting covered up. Obviously, it'll be the new one in the new entryway. We'll be doing landscaping here in the next couple weeks, so we're going to sod all that. So just get it sodded and watered, so it looks good on day one. We're going to sod that kind of thing, so it's good. Metal panel, which is the longest lead time item on all of that. Right now, it's tracking to be here about the second week of August. So it is about a 3-week install on it, so that will go over the school a little bit. But we're going to do like we did in the ECC, where we'll be working with students or not. So it'll be tight, But right now, this is the second August, they should be installed. And as soon as the metal panel's up, then all the signs will go on as well. You have the H, and you have the CAD, all that stuff. So we did a little bit. Next school is McEwen. Stained steel concrete is complete there as well. Some of the photos there on the right, you can see that is actually when the stain was ongoing. So I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to walk that schoolyard or not, but same similar pattern to high schools. There's a lot of different colors of blues and grays, depending on where you're in the building. You're trying to create that visual change between classrooms and between hallways. So it actually turned out very, very good. I was a little concerned about McEwen due to the glue that was in that school was the black mastic. It was not asbestos, but it was the black mastic, which can really stain that concrete bad. But it came up very, very good. So you can see a little bit of ghosting from where it used to be, but actually it's very, very good. Hopefully you guys can see it actually. It turned out much, much better than I anticipated. The stain looks good as well. We did take an extra measure of putting densifier, which is like a concrete hardener, underneath it and on top of it to try to keep that stain where it should be in the slab, because that moisture is so high in that school, that stain could leak through that concrete because of the high moisture. So we're going to keep it where it should be, keep that color vibrant and bright. The left photo is the epoxy, so all the bathrooms got new epoxy flooring in there, which also looks great. Next slide. Painting. So we got it. We got it all up. We got it all off. You can see kind of the end product of the top two. That was after 80 gallons of paint stripper and a lot of elbow grease. And kind of you can see on the left, we got it all the way down to block. So all that stuff in the hallways is gone. The paint looks very, very good. Everybody who says that looks like you could never tell that paint was ever painted before. So we have a solution, and when you guys end up doing the classrooms one day, you know how to do that. That looks very, very good. So lower photo there is of the front entryway. See some of the stains, see some of the sealed concrete. But it's coming along rapidly. That avenue space is basically done as well. So, next slide. Middle school. So, Tectum is here. Upper left-hand corner is the Tectum panel. So that is your new roof deck. If you drive by the middle school, you're going to see them all stacked up. We started that Monday. So 2 days ago. All the materials here. We have started demo. Got a little bit done on Monday, but really started making some headway today. I think we got a little over 1,000 square foot done today. We're hoping for about 1,500 square foot tomorrow. So schedule-wise, the roof deck itself should be replaced within the next 2 weeks completely. And then the roofing activity will be continuing on from that. So right now, from the scheduling standpoint, we're tracking where we need to be. It's going to be right at the buzzer. We get done by school start, but we'll be doing everything we got. The roofing will be done, like I said, it's going to be kind of an interior paint with the inside of the gym cleaned up and freshened up. All the lights on the back of the school starts. So we can start getting back to the roofing. So next photo. Kind of a cool photo there on the left. That is Sky. So you can see here, this was taken earlier. This was about 11 a.m. today. This is the new. You can kind of see the color change. This is the old. So they're cutting that, ripping it off, and they're replacing those panels. They're about 2.5 foot wide by 6 foot long. They're laying those panels in after they tear out the old, and then screwing them down to structure. And then the joints here actually get grouted in with a non-shrink grout to seal it all in. So then after that's done, that grout sets up about 30 minutes, and then we put a self-adhering, basically waterproofing membrane on top of it, so that every night you're dried in 100%. So if you do get a pop-up rainstorm, you're dry, because obviously we don't want to damage that floor. So we are working on the west side now. This is the upper peak of the gym. As you guys know, that's a peak. That roof is sloped. So you can kind of see that transition there at that top peak right there where you can see daylight coming through it. So making good progress. Really should hit our stride here next couple minutes. So, any questions?
I just noticed these ginormous units in the high school parking lot.
Yes.
I'm wondering how those get hauled off.
So my contractor hauls those off. So what they'll do is they'll drain down the refrigerant out of them, the Freon, because that is a hazardous material, and then they get scrapped. So all the units that got swapped out.
So they have a time limit of when that has to be removed, I see.
We just swapped those out on Monday.
Oh, did you?
Yes, so there was 4 units that were delayed from Lennox. They were the large units that go in the gym and the PAC.
Okay.
3 of them, they flew on one. They're actually training high school right now. And then I think the 4th one just showed up today, so they didn't fly out last night.
I just happened to see it today and I'm like,
Yeah, those
whoa.
just swapped out on Monday.
Okay.
So they should be gone. Probably gonna swap out that 4th one on home now.
Cool.
Did we get any money for the scrapping of those?
So the contractor that was hired to haul them off is getting the money out of that, because they're the ones that assumed they were scrapping it. So any dollars associated with that was part of their bid.
Yeah.
There's not a ton, it's honestly, there's just sheet metal work.
Other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 6A, assessment and evaluation of district programs. This is information.
Well, as we continue to close out the 2021-22 school year, we looked at overall revenues for the fiscal year. We're at 99.7% of the amended budget amount. We had a few federal grants and nutrition money that we didn't receive by June 30th, so that put us a little bit under. We did transfer $889,000 of classroom trust fund money over to the capital projects fund to start building up a balance for ongoing facility improvements. On the expenditure side of things, we ended up at about 99% of our amended budget. Of course, as I've told you monthly, our expenditures for the debt service and capital projects funds are significantly higher than last year because of the bond payoffs and construction projects. Fund balance wise, we have a fund balance percentage in our operating and special revenue funds of 31%, which is higher than last year. So we're trending in the right direction there. Year to date, our revenues over expenditures were at $958,000 to the good. We, at this point, we transferred money out of the general fund to the special revenue fund to zero that out, and it's at 1.6 million. That's bound to change a little bit as I continue to do adjusting entries and get the auditor entries done. Audit is scheduled for the last week in September, so that'll be an ongoing journal entries until then. Total cash and investments were at 21.3 million, with 7.1 million of that in bond proceeds. Any questions?
How many years has it been since we've been able to transfer funds like that?
I don't even know.
I think that meets one of our commitments to the community to improve fiscal financials. So
Yeah.
I think we've done a good job of getting us down that track and having that reserve. So when the next air conditioning unit goes on, we're ready. So, thanks, Deb. Item 6B, strategic plan update.
So just to continue on with that conversation a little bit, the 31% fund balance is phenomenal. It's 10% higher than it was my first year here. So we turned the ship. We just need to keep it going in the same direction and be conscious of where we're at. And yeah, being able to transfer money into capital projects is huge because we still have ongoing expenditures, as you know, with roof repairs, asphalt repairs, just those continual maintenance things that will never go away. We're operating old buildings, and things need repaired, so that's how you do it with those funds. So that's a big part of our focus for the summertime. We start looking at the tax rate. So Board of Equalization is not yet met, but just looking at the tax rate for this upcoming August tax rate hearing is looking solid. Of course, inflation numbers have drastically impacted the levy maxing out. Typically, we're not able to recover all the assessed valuation. It's capped by the Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index is really high right now because inflation is really high, and so any growth in the assessed valuation will be able to place into operating. So that's a positive and a negative at the same time. So that's a lot of our focus in the summertime is just on budget, tax rate, making sure we're fiscally ready to attack the next school year. So it won't be long. We'll start getting our staff back, and we'll have planning. And I know we're very excited for the upcoming school year. Not as many unknowns, and ready to hit the ground running. So that's where we're at. We still have some hires to make, so we'll probably have to have a special session in the morning sometime just to get those completed before the start of the school year. But other than that, we're moving right along.
Any questions for Paul? Very good. Item 6C, back to school plan. This is an action item. Chair would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2022-2023 back to school plan as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Lots of red in it.
Lots of red, and just getting rid of stuff, trying to clean it up as much as possible. So meet the requirements for this.
So we're not gonna have a task force committee or anything?
Any questions for Paul?
Busing, for the last 2 years, kids have had to get on at the same designated spot. They haven't been able to get off with other kids. Is that going to stay the same?
We haven't really talked about that a whole lot, Jason. I don't know what Echo Ride has said about that. So
Plan is go back to normal for everything.
Any other questions?
So when you say go back to normal for everything, does that include the students that live within like a mile or so and
Pay to
they're
ride.
paid $5?
the Pay to Ride program.
Pay to ride.
Yeah.
Very good.
Are there any options for the middle schoolers, except the high school's lockers by approval or by request, I guess, for high school, but middle schoolers, if they want to use a locker, is there any reason?
That's probably something we'd have to talk to the principal about. I'm not sure about that. So.
They just carry around so
Yeah,
much
they carry a
stuff.
lot of stuff. And then they won't wear coats, you know that, because then that means they have to carry their coat all day at school. So
Those kids, what are you gonna do with them?
I know, yeah. Then they get sick, you know, and then they can't go to school.
Buying books and buying books. I know.
So that just needs to be a conversation with the building principal.
Right. It's just, I mean, we generally let them run their building. So they've done it a long time. You know?
Where did you land then? There was a discussion on lunch, about visitors at lunch. Is at the elementary schools?
Yeah, they're going to allow that.
So the last final step towards normal, a lot of those things will be taken care of.
Good.
Seems like it's been forever.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes. Item 6D, change of August board meeting date. It's an action item. Chair would entertain a motion.
I move to set the regular board meeting date for August 22 as August 23rd, 2022.
Second.
Motion and second.
This is just so we can get the tax rate information to the county in time. Otherwise, we don't get the tax rate recorded. So it's got to be recorded on September 1st.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting dates changed. Item E, school lunches, 2022-23 school lunch prices. It's an action item.
I move to approve the breakfast, lunch, and adult meal prices for the 2022-23 school year as presented.
I'll second that.
Jason, you want to talk about the lunches?
No change to the student meals. We have excess in our food service right now with increased revenues from the past 2 years, so based off reimbursement rates. But we did have a change to the adult lunch to get it to cover the costs that we were being billed from OPA on that. So. And Deb found the spot that we have the exemption to paid lunch equity tool, which is she fills out every year that tells us usually we have to have a 10-cent increase because of our revenue balance in that food service. We're exempt from that this year, and that's how we were able to not have an increase to our lunch prices. But more likely than not, that will continue in the future, which is usually a 5 or 10 cent increase so, that they recommend you pay.
Very good. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Lunch prices passed. Item 7A, employee manual. It's an action item.
I move to approve the 2022-23 employee manual and substitute extra duty letter as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions, discussion?
So much red and yellow.
I
I could not.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
So the yellow means if there's a red line drawn through it and there's yellow over that, does that mean
It was
that,
removed.
okay.
The red line just
So that was, the yellow was my working on it because I couldn't get it, it's my own formatting, I apologize, but we're used to working in Google and this is a Word document, and so I was doing it and didn't have my expert with me at the time, so my expert to the left, so it was, so yeah, that's just my bad addition to the changes, so.
Well, I'm sure they're all good. I was just trying to figure out if that meant they were staying, the changes were coming or going. I wasn't.
Anything
sure.
that's crossed out is going.
Okay.
Anything that's yellow, that is on the yellow side at least, that is not crossed out is an addition or a change.
So I just had one thing that really confused me on the employee leave, the FMLA
Give me
leave.
give me a page if you will.
Oh, let's see. Thank you. Page 20.
It's on page 20 within the document, not on the page. Okay, it's 20.
The 18 on the document. It's hard. The Word doesn't format things the same, so.
That was the PTO. I think it is on
Okay,
20
yeah,
on the
yeah.
document.
I've got it. It's on 18 on mine. But that's fine.
Well, it starts with there. My question was, at one point in all of that, it said that if there was a married couple that wanted to take FMLA for the birth of a baby, that each one, that they could only take 12 weeks at a time. Is that correct? It confused me because I thought,
So
well,
all of that, Nancy, is all done by the attorney side. So that's all based on the actual language in FMLA.
so does that mean that as a couple they just get 12 weeks then? Or do they still get 24 like in 12 weeks?
Each.
Okay.
They each get
That's
12
what I
weeks.
wanted to make sure. That's all.
Every employee gets 12 weeks, so
Yeah.
whether you're a married couple or not, if you're a married couple, you would, and you
Right.
work for us, you each get 12.
Right.
So do they do it same time or back to back? Does it matter?
And
It was just confusing to me the way it was worded.
That's a federally mandated.
That's the federal language right there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm like, my word. Okay,
No, it's a shock.
not at all. As long as they get the right amount, that's all. Thank
Other
you.
questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Action carries. Item 7B, assistant football coach. It's an action item.
I move to approve the addition of an assistant football coach beginning with the 2022-2023 school year.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion?
I just
Walter?
want to clarify, this is something that the board essentially had already approved, but it was not included on the table last month. It was approved, and so this is due to the reintroduction of C-team sports. So this is not beyond what we had asked previously. So.
Questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 7B passes. Looks like item 9A, adjournment, reconvene in closed session. Chairman, I take a motion.
So moved.
Motion second. Call roll, please.
Yes. Nancy.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Cameron.
Yes.
Jenny.
Yes.
Bing.
Yes.
We will adjourn and reconvene in closed session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.